How God made a heaven for Adam. God used a water bubble to make a heavenly condition for this earth. 2 Peter 3:5, For this they willfully forget, that by the word of God the heavens were of old, and the earth standing out of water and in the middle of water. Verse 6, By which the world that then existed perished, being flooded with water. What could the heaven that God made for Adam compare to? We could use a greenhouse as an example to illustrate a heavenly condition on this earth as in Adam's day. God gave detail how he had made it in Genesis 1:6. Then God said, Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters and let it divide the waters from the waters. There is a covering over a greenhouse, usually glass or plastic. The purpose of the plastic or glass is to protect the environment and the soil in the greenhouse. The environment is that heavenly condition and the soil is the earth. So basically, a heaven and earth can be compared to a greenhouse according to Genesis 1:6, 2 Peter 3:5. What would happen if the glass/plastic covering was removed from the top of the greenhouse? See Psalm 104, 7-9, 2 Peter 3:5-7, this special environment heaven. We could use a greenhouse as an example to illustrate a heavenly condition that was on this earth in Adam to Noah day. Today the earth has no heavenly condition, but in biblical terms still exist, heaven, without a heavenly condition. Matthew 24:31 And he will send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they will gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. Of this earth, the angels will gather his elect from this earth's heaven at resurrection time. If this special glass/plastic covering is removed, this special environment/atmosphere and the soil in the greenhouse would suffer destruction or destroyed. While life can go on, life is miserable in the removal of the glass/plastic covering of the greenhouse. The constant hot and cold temperatures, and the force of the sun would dry out the soil. Anything that usually thrive would quickly dies. It is after the water covering or water roof, bubble, above this earth was removed man's lifespans was reduced. Noah was the last man to live over 900 years as radiation and other elements destroyed his offspring and reduced man's lifespan. This earth and earth's heaven was a large greenhouse with a water covering, water roof, or a large bubble above and around it. Psalm 104:6, 2 Peter 3:5. In other words, this earth was into a large water bubble with a space between the surface and the water bubble above it. Earth destruction started during Noah's flood. During Noah's flood, this water covering or roof, bubble, for this earth was removed or burst. Genesis 7:11, that caused this special atmosphere or heavenly condition to be no more, which ruined or destroyed this earth. Genesis 7:11 In the 600th year of Noah's life, on the 17th day of the second month, on that day all the springs of the great deep burst forth, and the floodgates of the heavens were opened. Verse 12 And rain fell on the earth 40 days and 40 nights. Genesis 6:13 And God said to Noah, The end of all flesh has come before me, for the earth is filled with violence through them, and behold, I will destroy them with the earth. The earth destruction started at during Noah's flood. Genesis 8:22 While the earth remains, seed time and harvest, cold and heat, winter and summer, and day and night shall not cease. It is after the removal of the water roof, bubble, of this planet that this earth and atmosphere/heaven was destroyed. 2 Peter 3:5, the water or water bubble above the planet was similar to a lampshade. The water or bubble above the planet was similar to a lampshade. This lampshade would light up from above, by the sun, and the water would glow 24 hours, therefore, no night, summer and winter, no hot and cold temperatures in the atmosphere, or no snow. Genesis 8:22. The water from above after Noah's flood took away most of the land's surface. Oceans are the main causes or making of storms, tsunami, rain, flood, snow, swampland, deserts, hot and cold temperatures, winter and summer, and day and night rain, flood water, famine, or food shortages, and much more. Genesis 8:22. Psalm 104:5 You who laid the foundations of the earth, so that it should not be moved. In Hebrew 6 You covered it with the deep as with a garment, the waters stood above the mountains. Verse 7 At your rebuke, during the flood, they fled, At the voice of your thunder they hastened away. Verse 8 They went up over the mountains, they went down into the valleys, to the place which you founded for them. The final destruction of this earth, the final destruction is at hand. 2 Peter 3-5 verses 5, For this they willfully forget, that by the word of God the heavens were of old, and the earth standing out of water and in the middle of water, or the earth was inside a large water bubble. Verse 6 By which the world that then existed perished, being flooded with water, as the water bubble burst. Verse 7 But the heavens and the earth which are now preserved by the same word, at Genesis 6:13, are reserved for fire until the day of judgment and ungodly men. God made many heavens, they are army/host of them. Genesis 2:1, Thus the heavens and the earth were completed in their entire vast array. Revelation 12:12, Therefore rejoice, you heavens and you who dwell in them. There is a new heaven and earth to be added to the many heavens and earth created in Genesis, ready for righteous ones. When heaven is mentioned in the Bible, earth is usually associated with it. Example Isaiah 65:17, See, I will create new heavens and a new earth, the former things will not be remembered, nor will they come to mind. Isaiah 66:22, As the new heavens and the new earth that I make will endure before me, declares the Lord. Revelation 21:1 Then I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth had passed away. Heaven or heavens are physical, this earth had a heavenly condition during Adam to Noah days. There is no heavenly condition today, only the contamination atmosphere/heaven remained or the ruined heaven after Noah flood. Open for comments. Thanks for watching, like and subscribe.